Welcome back. The St. Lucia A&T Ports Authority, SLASPA, is pressing ahead with plans for the redevelopment of the Hewanorra International Airport under a proposed public-private partnership agreement. After examining several models, SLASPA believes the Jamaica model to be the suitable one for St. Lucian environment. In this excerpt of a documentary on the process, we get an insight into those plans.
Under the guidance of the Government of St. Lucia, SLASPA has engaged the International Finance Corporation, IFC, as the lead advisor for the transaction. This exercise has concluded with extensive due diligence, a detailed 30-year master plan, and a viable and sustainable model for the development of the airport. That model is internationally recognized and referred to as a public-private partnership, PPP. The PPP, or 3Ps as it is also known, is not new and has been utilized successfully worldwide, particularly in support of developing what is typically a public service asset by utilizing private expertise and participation.
If we look at Brazil, if we look at Canada, if we look at Indonesia, these countries are richer. They have greater access to the capital markets. They can borrow at much lower interest rates than St. Lucia can. However, they're using PPPs.
Our ability to finance this on our own is definitely very limited. We cannot, this government cannot go out and borrow the money to do it.
Well, based on what you hear, I don't think government has an alternative currently. Remember that the monies are not readily available. And this is, in my view, the way for governments, not only the government of St. Lucia, but it is happening worldwide. This is the way to go.
For us to be able to finance as a government all of the infrastructure required for development, to keep pace with the development that is required, would be next to impossible.
So the actual financing and financing requirements will be the responsibility strictly of the private entity and not of SLASPA or the government or people of St. Lucia.
So it's a win-win situation for all, and we welcome that gesture, and if it comes to fruition, I believe the whole of, not even the South, St. Lucia will benefit.
What about the BOLT system, which has been used to finance police stations here? The acronym BOLT stands for Build, Own, Lease, Transfer. Why isn't that an option for HIA?
The multilateral institutions like World Bank and IMF have said, you know what, you guys are just disguising debt. This is really debt. And you're just finding another way to get into an arrangement, a lease arrangement, and it comes back to you. That's a finance lease. That should be shown as debt on your balance sheet.
If we went the other route, which was through direct borrowing, given that SLASPA is a fully owned entity of government, it would reflect immediately on our debt-GDP ratio. And this is a significant investment. It would raise our debt-GDP ratio towards or above 80% of GDP, which would send a pretty negative signal to the market about our debt, the sustainability of our debt.
The International Finance Corporation, which has vast experience in airport development projects, has guided the process to ensure transparency and credibility.
IFC is there guiding us through the process of tendering, and they will be with us through the whole process of selection, and then guidance as to the regulations and putting things in place to make sure that we get what we want. And it does meet the standards, and it does share the revenues, and the government and the people of St. Lucia are better off as a result, not worse off.
The IFC has a very solid reputation in terms of leading transactions of that nature internationally. They are a very transparent entity with integrity and solid governance. We've been blessed with the opportunity to work with the IFC on this transaction, and the IFC, as I mentioned, are in fact leading the transaction.